Don't you miss the sweet slumbers you fell into as a child? Neend app helps you recreate that magic with well-crafted exclusive sleep stories, guided meditations, and calming music to lull you into the restful sleep you need. Our offerings are all ad-free, approved by experts, and have helped more than 90% of our listeners fall asleep as quick as within 15 minutes after tuning into our app. Download the app for more sleeping aids and subscribe to the channel.
Hi, this is Zareen Barda, and I'm going to tell you a sleep story, Enchanting Emily, written by Sharmista Saha. This travel fiction has been written with a few pinches of nostalgia very evenly and affectionately sprinkled to enhance the beauty of the journey which you will begin with me. I will help you experience a voyage which is full of life and describes the splendid and spectacular beauty of nature. We will gather lots of happiness and recall many cherishable moments on the way, which will take you very close to your heart and fill you with tremendous joy and satisfaction. I will tell you about a sweet girl who will walk you through her journey, where in every fold you will feel the same thrill, happiness, serenity, and peace of mind the way she feels. Get ready to join Emily. Prepare yourself to indulge in the calmness and feel the euphoria of this delightful journey. Before we begin, make yourself comfortable in your favorite position for falling asleep. The place which gives you the most happiness, comfort, and security at the end of the day. Rest your head on the soft pillow and feel the pleasure of floating on the clouds. Turn the lights off and very slowly close your eyes, releasing every tension and every stress out of your body. Set your body free, let your muscles loosen up slowly. Take a slow, full, deep breath and let go of all your worries. It's time to set the world aside. Let go of your day and begin your gentle transition into sleep. Take another slow, full, deep breath and breathe out any tension in your body. All there is to do now is relax, rest, and be restored. Now you are feeling like a feather, light, very light, slowly floating in the air and coming down and down to touch the ground. Feel the bed you are lying on, beginning with your feet. Allow all the tension to go out of them now. They've worked hard for you all day and deserve a rest. And so the relaxation in your feet begins to find its way into your ankles, your calves, and your knees. And now relax your upper legs, your hips. Feel this relaxation flowing up into your abdomen and lower back, your upper back, and your chest. And feel this peaceful, relaxing feeling flowing down your arms into your hands and out your fingertips, and then up into your neck, head, and face. Now your whole body is perfectly calm, relaxed, and ready for sleep. Soon you will be sound asleep, off on a peaceful journey into a dreamland that will carry you all the way through until morning. Feel the coziness and warmth of the atmosphere. Let every other thought fly out of your window slowly. Engage yourself with the story. Step into a world of love, happiness, and nostalgia. So as you continue to listen to the story, begin to follow your breath, relax your entire body, and settle in for a wonderful sleep experience. Let's begin the story. The chrome hue draped the sky mystically. The cool breeze had a minty aroma, abiding the atmosphere. The birds over there, on that oak tree, some on the electric wires, on fences, and some on the ground, chirping, full of liveliness, warmth, tenderness, immense love, and attachment for each other. The soothing jingle of the church bells from far-flung corners of this small yet beautiful city filled every pore with serene joy and fulfillment. The bus stop where Emily is waiting for her bus is an amazing place. It looks as if the place has come alive from an artist's sketchbook, so vibrant, so amusing, and so full of life. The time just before twilight is Emily's favorite. She impatiently waits for this moment just to behold the beauty of this hour of the day when the setting afternoon embraces the upcoming twilight. The golden color all around the earth cuddles Emily with unknown and unseen happiness. She opens her arms to hug all the happiness in a tight embrace. While gazing at the beauty of nature, she moved her eyes all around. Few people are scattered here and there. Emily exchanged smiles with them. She loves greeting people with a smile. She believes a smile can heal any wound. A smile can mend a ruined day or uplift a pissed-off mood. Smile is a blessing in disguise. Smile is magic. 3 sparrows came hoping to munch over the fallen bits and crumbles of biscuits, chips, and a few peanuts. Emily pulled out a packet of chips from her small brown bag. Few pieces she threw into her mouth, and a few she put into her palm and stretched towards the sparrows. The little birdies stopped and stared at Emily, probably judging her, but Emily's innocent smile melted their hearts too. One of them was brave enough and came closer all the way, jumping to sit on Emily's hand. Its soft and tender body gave a tranquil feeling. The delicate and fluffy feathers brushed her hand with purity and fondness. The bus arrived, honking, and Emily got up and ran to her favorite window seat. From the next stop, a little boy got up with his mother. Emily tried hard to see his face, but she couldn't as the child's face hid behind 4 balloons, red, yellow, pink, and blue. That reminded Emily of her childhood days when she went to fairs sitting on her father's shoulder. She still feels the sweet and soft taste of the cotton candies, and those black, tangy candies were her favorite. Emily closes her eyes to feel the taste once again in her thoughts. Fairs are so colorful. The giant wheel and the merry-go-round used to be her must-have rides. Once her father told her something very amazing about the giant wheels, and since then she was never scared to ride on them. Her father said, "This giant wheel teaches us a great lesson. It teaches us the balance between good and bad, happy and sad, revenge and forgiveness. While moving upwards, think of the feelings which make you upset or angry or vengeance, and while going down, give a loud shout and let go of those uncanny and absurd feelings. Trust me, you will be a different person after this ride is over. Your heart and mind will be like a feather gently floating in the air. You will actually enjoy the ride and the rest of your life with all the goodness in your heart." Her trail of thoughts broke when the conductor came for the ticket. All of a sudden, the sky started turning cloudy. Thick clouds filled the sky. Emily looked outside. A sudden gust of wind swept past her, tossing her hair, and along with it came the pleasant smell of raindrops on parched soil. Emily pulled a long breath, inhaling the earthy smell deep inside her. Few drops of rain fell on her face, and a witty smile played on her lips. Emily loves the rain like many of us do. Emily and her brother used to run out of the house whenever it rained. They'd jump on puddles or simply roll over the muddy ground. They sometimes went far away chasing their paper boats, and that was the real fun. Few minutes later, the downpour stopped, making everything fresh and clean everywhere around. The bus was now passing through a paddy field. The yellow patches of crops were glowing with the last rays of the sun, nodding and dancing with beaming faces. The westerly rays fell upon Emily's face, and she closed her eyes, leaning her head on the windowsill. The bus was moving swiftly, and so was the charming breeze. Emily was enjoying her ride. Far away, her eyes caught the sight of dancing sunflowers, lilies, and daffodils. The sunflowers are so huge that Emily could easily see the striped honeybees all over them. The kaleidoscope of butterflies maneuvering over flowers is no less than spotting something out of this world. And the mesmerizing fragrance of the purple, pink, and white lilies were divine. Their smell alone could heal anyone from the very core of their soul. The bus was now on a small bridge. Emily slightly got up from her seat just to get a glance of the duck family who were swimming in a queue, all one after another in perfect alignment. The white duckling looked so different and pretty among the yellow ones that Emily couldn't get her eyes off of it. She captured every beauty observation with the shudder of her eyes, and the pictures were neatly saved in her memory, one after another. Emily has many candid memories in her storage, and whenever she feels like entering the memory lanes, she just needs to close her eyes and float like bubbles, light and cozy. Emily leaned back and closed her eyes. She was feeling sleepy. She was yawning. She might have fallen asleep for a while, perhaps. An hour passed in the meantime, and the bus stopped abruptly, and Emily woke up. She rubbed her eyes and tried to look outside the window. The little twinkling stars have taken their positions in the sky. The moon looked spectacular, all round, bright and complete. Emily pulled out a funny memory from her storage. As a child, Emily thought the moon travels with her wherever she goes. She clearly remembers those days when she and her brother, along with her father and mother, returned home in their scooter. The moon traveled alongside, over the trees, fields, ponds, and houses. And when they were close enough from their house, Emily used to get down from the scooter and run home, keeping a constant vigil on the moon, and she jumped with joy that the moon ran with her. That gave her an enormous amount of contentment and joy. But now she knows the moon is for everyone. Nature and its beauty is for everyone, whoever wants to behold it in their hearts. Emily suddenly felt two eyes gazing at her. A familiar face was trying to smile decently. Emily smiled back, and her pink cheeks turned red. She was blushing like a rosebud about to open up into a full bloomed flower. She met him a few months back at the flower festival, and soon she developed a liking for him. Emily loves flowers. She always visits this annual flower festival. One can perceive and adore almost all varieties of flowers under one roof. The thought suddenly sparked her after seeing Jamie all of a sudden for the second time. That's how she met him that day. She almost lost hope of seeing him ever again. Jamie is a handsome boy in his 20s. The one most common thing about them, and which Emily is very fond of, is Jamie loves to spread smiles and joy wherever he goes. He too is loved by his folks all around. That day, Emily was running late. She couldn't wait to get the fresh smell of the blooming roses. But when she reached the spot, alas, there was not even a single piece of rose anywhere. She stood awestruck. She sneaked into every shop. There were carnations, lavenders, sunflowers, jasmines, lilies, chrysanthemums, and many known and unknown flowers, and a set of indoor plants except her favorite roses. Then suddenly she overheard someone saying that the Rose Boy is running late and the festival has already begun. Visitors have already started gathering near the stalls. Lost in her thoughts, Emily couldn't hear the shout from behind her, and she hit into something. Bang! And she fell. After regaining her senses, When she opened her eyes, she was sitting over a cart full of rose petals. The rose petals were all over her, and the smell was extravagant. She jumped down from the cart to apologize, and that is when she saw the rose boy, Jamie. The little boy got down with his mother, and Jamie came and took a seat beside Emily. She felt very shy. Jamie smelt so good. His masculine fragrance is enchanting and enthralling. She wonders sometimes that Jamie too feels the same way like she does. Both exchange smiles and serenity. Both look away from each other through the windows. Something about that solitude was magnetic. Both of them felt the attraction and the pull. Affectionate warmth wrapped them like a cozy blanket on a snowy winter night. Emily was gasping long breaths, filling her heart with the amazing fragrance of Jamie. Her hand suddenly brushed with Jamie's hand, and she curled in her seat. Her heart was racing faster than the wind outside. They exchanged a few words, looking straight into each other's eyes. Emily could now feel the heat, the same as sitting beside a fireplace. After Jamie got down 2 stops later, Emily felt sleepy. All the passengers were lost in deep sleep already. With the sun in its full glory and the flowers in their full bloom, Emily too reached her desired destination. She had traveled a long way to reach here, experiencing many amusing things and saving many golden memories to cherish later in life. There is a Broadway where 4 roads meet like old parted friends. There is a park where joggers have gathered and children are playing. Coffee shops are full and noisy, and that bookshop around the corner is the busiest place by now. Emily stood still, watching the street food vendor arranging and decorating his food cart so efficiently. Soon the air filled with the mouth-watering aroma of bacon and hot dogs. She didn't miss the sight of the people rushing to catch trains and taxis to reach their workplaces. There, outside the park, a little left, there stands the most bright, flashy, and multicolored ice cream truck, alluring everyone towards it. Emily thinks the ice cream truck carries so many flavors: vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, blueberry, butterscotch, 2-in-1, and fruits and nuts, and so on to choose from. Similarly, life and nature too have so many forms and flavors. Emily believes one can always choose between the good and bad, but if one gets to choose between 2 bad things, then choose the lesser bad one and make it the best with your smile, efficiency, and endurance. Emily took a deep sigh and walked straight in front of the fountain. She took out her violin and prepared herself to play. She closed her eyes softly. With one hand, she put the violin on her shoulder and raised the bow with the other. The moment the bow touched the strings, pleasant music echoed all around. Very poised and enchanting music captivated the atmosphere. People stood dumbfounded and mesmerized. Emily could feel her soul eventually coming out of her body and uniting with the divine. She could feel her mind roaming freely and floating over the cottony clouds up there in the sky. She could see herself standing on the brink of the horizon, wrapped by the vermilion, purple, and crimson hues of the twilight and the mild wind, kissing her rosy cheeks and brushing her hair with gentle strokes. Her smile at this moment looked mysterious. On her way back home, Emily leaned her head on the window and closed her eyes. She felt the satisfaction deep inside her heart for making people smile and happy with the two most powerful gifts, her smile and her music. Emily got down from the bus and kept walking towards her home. At the gate, she saw her brother waiting for her eagerly. They will now have a hot and delicious meal together. Emily has not only brought a bag full of money to share, but a heart full of happiness, contentment, memories, and blessing from the Almighty.